Hi, Daniel from Israel. Thank you for your question about how to make the practice of empathic receiving and reflecting back, how to make it more flowing, more natural in a way, so it will serve connection rather than perhaps even trigger further disconnection. For those who are not maybe familiar with the term of empathic receiving and reflecting back, I just want to offer a little bit of explanation before I dive into attempting to answer the question. So, empathic reflection and empathic receiving and reflecting back is a practice that in nonviolent communication we hold as very, very precious, very important. And it simply means that when the other person is expressing themselves, maybe they are overwhelmed with some emotions, maybe they don't have the clarity they would like to have about their inner world, and the way they might be expressing themselves is perhaps not very clear, and not very connecting even. And then instead of reacting to that, with empathic receiving, we try to focus on the human being behind perhaps imperfect words. And then we try to focus on what might be happening in that person that made them say what they just said. And then we also reflect back what we are getting, what we are understanding, so that we will check whether we are actually with that other person, and that also we will provide some evidence to that person, that they will actually have a very clear sense that yes, they are being heard in a way they would like to be heard. So reflecting back will be something like, okay, so let me just see if I'm with you. So is it that that this and this and this is happening in you because you might be longing for this and that? Am I with you? So something like this, kind of an honest attempt to reflect back what we are hearing from the other. And yes, when we start using this practice, it can become very, very mechanical, and very often doesn't really serve connection. So the question is how to make it a bit more flowing and natural sounding, let's say. Now, for me, it is pretty much the same as with every language that we learn. If I start learning a new language, I will probably be very, very clumsy at the beginning. I will be, flipping over. I will be stumbling my way. It will be really hard for me to express myself, and it is gonna sound weird to other people. So, of course, the quickest way is for me to learn this new language so that it gets integrated soon into my system. And then maybe within few years, maybe in 5 years, 10 years, this new language will be so integrated into my system already that I will be expressing myself quite fluently. And it will also sound to the listener quite, natural, or yeah. So this is where I would like to go, also with a language of nonviolent communication, and specifically in empathic receiving. One thing that I would do, like one of the first steps, I would try to shift my focus away from the feelings and needs, especially away from the list of feelings and list of needs. Now, of course, all these lists can be very useful at the beginning when our vocabulary to express our inner world is quite limited. So then looking at the list of feelings and needs can be very helpful, like, because it just names so many so many aspects of inner experience that maybe we are lacking words for. However, I would like to reach the stage as soon as possible in which I can throw away the list of feelings and needs. there are a couple of reasons. One, the main reason is that in my understanding, our inner world is not structured in a way that there are 47 feelings somewhere here, and then there are 86 needs behind, and then on the left there are values, or however we want to talk about that. So I wouldn't want to focus too much on that, because it doesn't really correspond with the deeper reality, which is that there is this amorphous flow of life streaming or moving, and then we are interpreting it with our minds so that we can make sense out of it and we can witness it, and then we are categorizing it. But that's not what is really happening. Meaning that, for instance, if you ask me now, Robert, how do you feel? I will put my attention on my inner world. In a way, I will freeze it. And then this picture I will name. I will say, I'm feeling happy. And I am naming this frozen picture of my inner experience that I had a couple of minutes ago. And then 2 minutes later, if you ask me, and how are you feeling now? I will do the same routine again, and perhaps I will freeze my flow of life in a different moment, and I will name it differently. I will say, oh, I'm feeling joyful. But am I really feeling different? Because now I said joyful, but before I said happy. Am I feeling differently? Well, that's precisely my point. So I would want to kind of drop as soon as I can, drop these lists like a musician drops the notes. So at the beginning you need the notes, so you learn to play, to master the instrument. But hopefully soon you will come to the moment in which you can throw away the notes, the sheet music, and you can close your eyes and you can just express your heart through an instrument. So that's what I would where I would go. Now, what to do? One thing is I would want to bring in curiosity, like genuine curiosity, on a very radical level. That means that I bring in awareness that I have no idea what is happening in this other conscious being. I barely have some sense of what's happening in me. But other conscious being, other people, will forever remain a mystery to me. They can be telling me, I can listen to them for hours and hours, and I can fully understand what they're saying. But at the end of the day, I only have my interpretation of how it is to be them. I don't know. I don't have first-hand experience how it is to be them. I only have first-hand experience how it is to be me. Meaning that I want to approach the listening as a scientist on a newly discovered planet, looking at some form of life, having no idea what this is, and approaching it with loads of curiosity and humbleness. That's how I would want to approach the listening, the art of listening. I don't know what's happening there. I only have my interpretations. I have no idea really how it is to be that person. What I can do, I can open my mind, I can open my heart and approach this conscious being with curiosity, with utter and ultimate curiosity. What's happening? What is happening in this person? That's one thing. Another thing, I would want to just sit and listen with full focus on that person until there intuitively seems to be the right moment for me to reflect back. Meaning this person completed, there is some silence there, maybe they are even looking towards me, wondering whether I'm with them or not. And that's when I would want to offer a summary of what reached me. So, meaning, I really want to take it slowly, to take it easy, and to basically just sit there and just to try to take it in, what I'm hearing. Not to be occupied by, trying to reflect back very quickly and now trying to search for feelings and needs and what is it? Is it the joy that person is? No, it's not joy. Maybe it's happiness. No, maybe it's confusion. So because then I'm not really with that other person. I'm with my own mind, trying to be this really good boy, a good pupil in a school, trying to provide the correct answer, and that's not listening. Listening is just listening. It's being there, witnessing this form of life, dancing in front of me, listening to that with all of my being, waiting until something comes up. Yeah, so even though it may sound dramatized or poetic, I want to bring in this awareness that it is what I'm witnessing is a mysterious, unknown, utterly unknown conscious being in front of me. So I really want to bring in all of my curiosity. Listen, take time, don't rush with reflecting back, and wait until things pop up in me. It's almost like it's very often I experience it almost like hearing or listening to the field, to how field is being influenced. It's often when I'm really deeply listening, the person is searching for a word in front of me. The word pops up in my head. 2 seconds later, this person says it. I don't think I have telepathic abilities, but I think, this meaning is surfacing in this field, and we are both receptive. I want to be as receptive as the other person is. I want to be impacted. I want to be influenced by what I'm hearing right now. So I really want to focus on opening up myself to the fullness of this experience of witnessing and listening and being impacted and being influenced. And then maybe with time I will tell them, what am I hearing? And maybe I will be referring to their feelings, maybe to their needs, but mostly I don't want to restrict and limit myself to these categories of feelings and needs. But what I want to focus on is really what's happening. How is life flowing now through this person? What's happening there? And what is this conscious being longing for? Can I get that? What are they longing for? And then offer that as my understanding and see how that lands in the other. So I hope I'm making some sense here and that this is somewhat helpful.